From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening of Evenings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2022. In tonight's recording, we go over the great news about CR for Stimulus 1.0. With $1.5 trillion of discretionary funds at the discretion of U.S. cabinet members, including Treasury, that could potentially send you out a stimulus check. We'll go over to Build Back Better for stimulus recon as Joe Biden says he wants all those adult automatic checks to go out right away. Every check of the Build Back Better Act in there across the board. We'll be turning into CR for Stimulus 2 and 3.0, merging in the Senate side in a new element of bipartisan support. Why is bipartisanship heating up? I'll have the latest breaking news as a new Republican economic plan is divulged today. Is it good? Is it bad? Does it make sense? And what did fellow Republicans say about it as well? We'll be looking at SS 300. Yeah, you heard me right. That is a lot more than SS 200. And it has the opportunity to go to SS 400 in no less than a year and a half. It's all brand new tonight. Plus, we have the latest details about what's going on with Vladimir and Joe. The latest on the latest details on CR for Stimulus 4.0. That is the Russian-Ukraine sanction legislation. A lot of money coming up in tonight's recording, and we have the great news across the board. As the fourth stimulus recon will pass the House and will also merge in the Senate with those changes with CR for Stimulus 1, 2, 3, and 4 also heating up the Senate. Stay to the very end because viewers are getting big sums of money right today. It's third stimulus, and they got money before. They're getting additional sums of money today. We ain't cashing checks on this channel. We ain't tracking checks on this channel. We're cashing checks. That includes that COLA raise that could raise your benefits up as soon as it's replaced by inflation. We'll be looking at the big sums of money that are in the Build Back Better, those incredible clusters of checks, each of them, and the opportunity for that MSC, all those incredible sums of checks across tonight's recording. I'm excited you're here because guess what? The toast was toasting this morning, the butter is buttering tonight, and this evening, the stimulus is stimulating. All those incredible great news start right here, right now, as Evenings LA gets underway direct from Santa Monica, starting right now. Hey, good evening, everybody. It is a big night with a lot of programs across the board, and the big detail is that the Build Back Better Act will get passed. That has lots of checks in there, but third stimulus is still paying viewers big sums of money. We're cashing checks on this channel, folks, not tracking checks. And I'll show you how two viewers got no less than $10,000 to $40,000 this week. You can get that money as well. It's all exciting. We have been talking about fifth stimulus for a while in 2021, but tonight we'll be looking at the opportunity to do SS 300. They'll raise your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. That's on top of all this at hand. There are many checks coming to you in the Build Back Better Act. We're going to look at each of those checks. Then we'll look at the opportunity to get you a check before it with CR for Stimulus 1, 2, 3, and 4.0. And then, of course, we'll be cutting back to the exciting details of SS 200, 300. I have my commentary on what's happening with Vladimir, but we have breaking financial news tonight, a lot of breaking news tonight about where this economy is going, where is inflation going, and that new Republican approach to the economy. A new 11-point plan released. Is 11 points or 11 mistakes? I have the latest details in tonight's recording. Boy, we got a lot going on in tonight's video, but I'm excited you're here. But first, hit that subscribe button. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member of Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Get that incredible newsletter. It comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system, a link to which is also in the video's description. Hit that alert link right now. We're going to jump right into the fourth stimulus recon, folks, right off the bat, because that is where the checks are huge. there is upwards of $60,000 of checks in the Build Back Better Act for you. And that is where they would add in there lots of adult automatic checks that Joe Biden says he wants to send out right away. $15,000 to start, but upwards of $60,000, 3 clusters of checks, 3 add-ons ready to take notes. Let's rock and roll. Cluster number 1, hazard pay, 1 more year of the earned income tax credit, broadened under the third stimulus. Learn about it at irs.gov for my essential workers. $4,000 of elder care, got it in there. The $3,600 of the CTC, the child tax credit. These are the checks for the children, folks, because they get checks up to about age 17, low-income household. They got those checks in there as well. They got the money for the Pell Grant, $550 check, the money for the repair of the home if you live in a low-income community, and the $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. That is just the first of 3 clusters of checks, folks. But we also have 3 add-ons, and the first add-on is the one that makes so many viewers of this channel so excited, like Ryan and Lynn Glenn. They love this provision. This is money to buy your first home. Yeah, you heard me right. A little bit less than $25,000. It got in there from Maxine Waters. It's in there. Passed in the House, now in the Senate. This would be money given from the federal government to the seller in your name at the time of escrow before it's closed for the purchase of your first home. Wow. Let's turn now to the second of 3 clusters of checks. It's getting even better. Deliciousness. Home repairs. You definitely need those home repairs to weatherize your home. Every time the neighbors move in and they're all wearing lobster shorts. Oh, goodness. And then paid leave. Every time you have to take off from work because your Senate leader shows up to work wearing a lobster shorts. I just feel awful. I just don't feel good. I have to take off from work. I need paid leave. Please, paid leave because of lobster shorts. Now, how much does paid leave pay, folks? It pays a lot. How much? Oh my goodness. $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. $35,000 annual salary, $800 a week. $15,000 annual salary, $400 a week. It's a lot of money. 46 weeks per year, yeah, that's about $46,000 a year. It's huge, and it's W-2 1099. If you don't work, but your son or daughter does work, they're going to get the check if they're part of the household if they have to take off from work to take you to the doctor's office. Wow. It keeps on getting better by the second. And also, what also gets better is the second add-on of checks. Those second add-ons of checks come from the incredible Bob Casey. Wow. The free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities, he got it in there via Joe Biden's pushing. Campaign promise, he got it in there, $250 billion of free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. Now let's turn to that third cluster of checks. Hope you're taking notes. This is the Build Back Better. These are all your checks. They're staying in there. Those incredible checks are staying in there. Free internet for all checks. Now, some of those free internet checks are available right now. If you need help on getting that free internet, reach out to the volunteers. But they also got in there checks for the farmers, checks for the independent contractors, and checks for the seniors. 2 on the House, 3 on the Senate. On the House side, they got the Medicaid gap fix, more about that second, and the hearing aid checks. But the Senators vow to add 3 other checks, which are dental, vision, and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare from 65 to 55. Those are the 3 checks that the Senators vow to add in there. And the Senators vow to add other checks in there, and you know what they are. Write those 3 letters in the live chat right now, folks. I see you writing it. There you go, MSC. Automatic Adult Stimulus Checks. All those checks of the Build Back Better Act. Joe Biden says he's ready to send them out via his spokesperson, Andrew Yates or Bates. So what is MSC? It stands for Monthly Sugar-Free Chocolate Cake Recipes. Only on this channel on Home LALATE and Stream Stimulus coming up at 7 o'clock. No, it also stands for Monthly Stimulus Check, IRS, where the checks go out from IRS. Now, the recon has lots of checks in there. $50,000 to $60,000 of checks. These are checks that would go in there on top of that, sent out from IRS. So let's go over who gets it. Tens of thousands of viewers of this channel have been told by senators since the month of May of last year that if you got a third, you get a fourth. Single individual, $75,000 less annual income, you get it. Married couple, $150,000 less annual income, you get it, but double it because there's 2 of you. Family of 4, here's the family of 4. How you doing, family of 4? They get it, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security Railroad benefits, you get it as well. Adult dependents also to get it. Some person yesterday said, it's only in California. No, in California, we get surfboards. We don't get stimulus. And we get surf and we get beautiful weather. We don't get this. No, actually, it goes everywhere across the country. This is not a California stimulus channel, folks. This is nationwide. Another viewer said yesterday, my fiance told me I have to pay it back. No, but I think you should get ready to return the engagement ring. Turn that back in right away. He has no idea what he's talking about. Don't marry someone like that. Look what we're doing. We're breaking up marriages before they even start on this channel. What's the encounter group? Help the encounter group help you encounter someone who knows what they're talking about and listen to the videos. Let's go over how much this is. It's $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for up to 6 months. And where they added in there on the Senate side? Wow. Now let's go over how they added in on the Senate side and the CR for stimulus at issue across the board. The way the senators add this in on the Senate side is in Senate subcommittee. They send the body of legislation passed in the House, has thousands of checks in there, $60,000 upwards for you to the Senate subcommittee. Then they start adding their stuff in there. Then they have a bill. Then they have a bill vote on the Senate floor. Then they have to do a vote-a-rama. But breathe, that has not happened. So we brought on this channel, I brought on this channel 4 weeks ago, CR for Stimulus 1.0 back on, baby. 4 weeks ago, I debuted it, and it has now made history again because CR for Stimulus 2, 3, and 4.0 are heating up as well. Don't know what this is? Don't understand what it is? Let me explain to you what CR for Stimulus undertakes. It basically is the concept of using a bill, just a few hundred pages in length, bipartisan support, has an inherent deadline, and inserting a check into this easy piece of legislation to be done before Build Back Better, the four stimulus recall. We're not negating Build Back Better. We're just getting this out sooner because you need the money now. You've been waiting long and hard, and you need the money right now. So 4 weeks ago, I delivered on channel, do you want to bring it back? And viewers said yes. Now, to understand what CR for Stimulus is, let's look back to 2020 when I created it. In 2020, I created CR for Stimulus, and boy, did it make history. What was going on back in 2020? The pandemic had hit, and you had gotten a first stimulus package. You got in money, but you used it up, and you needed more money. And that is why we started to hear about a second stimulus package, thousands of pages in length. Partisan, very partisan. Negotiated by Nancy Pelosi on behalf of the Democrats out of San Francisco, the Speaker of the House, and then on behalf of the Republicans out of New York, Steve Mnuchin, then Treasury Secretary. Spring, no deal. Summer, no deal. Fall, no deal. Winter, no deal. And by December, I said, we can't do this. No deal. It's been 11 months. So I thought to myself, what do I need? I need something that's a bill that's a few hundred pages in length, has bipartisan support, inherent deadline, and I found it. A continuing resolution. What is that? A continuing resolution is a budget bill that funds the federal government every 3 to 6 months and has an inherent deadline. Maybe a few days out, maybe a few weeks out, maybe a month out, but doesn't go out months after that because the government can't default. So I said to viewers of this channel one morning, I said, hey, I have an idea. The idea is we support second stimulus, but it's been 11 months. Let's use something that's quick and fast to get you out a check right now. And the idea I've come up with overnight is called CR for Stimulus. If you're on the live chat right now, write the hashtag campaign. Viewers liked the idea, and we pushed, advocating for the inclusion of a stimulus check in the CR, then with an inherent deadline of December 2020. Well, immediately the criticism came on in. The criticism I had anticipated. It doesn't belong in there, LALATE. It's a bill to fund the federal government, not to fund Americans' wallets. I understand it don't belong in there, but since the start of time, Congress has passed legislation that funds things that don't belong in there. They tried to do a COVID relief bill that gave money to give money to foreign military governments. One, to expand the Department of Copyrights. Another one, to build a new FBI building. They can certainly insert a stimulus check for us across the land. And we pushed, and one morning we woke up and we're told, hey, stimulus got in the CR. We thought we had one until we looked and realized, no, it's unemployment stimulus. So we pushed again. And finally we woke up one morning and saw we made history. A $600 stimulus check got into the continuing resolution of December 2020. My creation made history. My idea made history. That was the $600 stimulus check. The purple power of the community of this channel made history. As one viewer said last night in the live chat, I've never seen a community so supportive and so helpful of one another. We made history. I made history. That check went out. It became the $600 check inserted in the continuing resolution, which became law in December 2020. What happened after that? Second stimulus fell apart, and second stimulus never became a bill, never became a law, and never paid anyone any money. So the great news is of 4 weeks ago on a Saturday, I brought back CR for Stimulus 1.0 back in the mix. I said, you want to do it again? 11 months of negotiations, Joe and Joe, no deal, a package 3,000 pages in length, very partisan. A viewer said yes. And immediately it birthed CR for Stimulus 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0. And the second half of this video, we're going to go over the breaking news of where each of these CRs right now. But let's go over the details of what's happening with each of them right before the commercial break. The incredible details are the first one, CR for Stimulus 1.0, has an inherent deadline of early March and $1.5 trillion of funds available. That can include your check. Wow. CR for Stimulus 2 and 3.0 heat up the second half of this commercial after the commercial break with Democrats and senators working hand in hand. Why? What went on? Why so much agreement? I'll go over the latest details on that. CR for Stimulus 4.0 also getting that agreement. Then we have new economic data today, folks, and you know why this impacts you. It's SS 200, 300, and 400. What is it? Since 2020, millions of Americans have been told by Joe Biden their benefits would go up $200 a month if they're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and rural benefits. It was part of his transition paper statements. I'm going to go over how he can do this right today and give you an additional $200 starting out 30 days from now, and then an additional $100 by December or January next year. That's SS 300. The kid from LA with the purple shirt, whose shirt tonight is pink, is going to show you how he can do it. Then we go over repurposing money. We have new economic data that's brand new tonight, folks, and boy, it tells you where inflation's going. Then stay to the very end because I'm going to show you how to get big, massive sums of money from third stimulus. Get that money in your hand tonight. Do you want tens of thousands of dollars in your hand tonight like countless viewers have done? Well, it's coming up in the second half, and I have all that incredible sums of money. Then I have my commentary of what's going on with Vladimir and also your wallet. The latest on Ukraine and Russia and how it impacts your wallet. It's a big evening to LALATE. We're just getting started. Stay with me. Stay to the very end. It's a big night with a lot of breaking news as Evenings LALATE goes into its second half tonight. But the question at issue is, how high is that inflation going? We'll be looking at that and more as we go into the big second half, as big money is coming your way as Evenings LALATE continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now as Evenings LALATE goes into its big second half right now with breaking news about the CR for Stimulus 1.0 and $1.5 trillion of discretionary funds available now for your stimulus. Wow, this is huge, folks. It's breaking tonight. Then we're going to go over CR for Stimulus 2 and 3.0 that will be merged in the Senate. And the Senate already having that fourth stimulus recon. The big checks in that recon, I'm going to go over them tonight. But no time and place to wait for fourth stimulus to become a law, because I'm going to show you how viewers are cleaned up. We're cashing checks on this channel, folks, not tracking checks. And I'm going to show you how to go into the weekend with tens of thousands of dollars. I have a tough love moment after I saw some comments by a long-standing viewer last night on how to get third stimulus and how he was not doing it correctly. I'm going to show you how to do it correctly in tonight's video. I loved his comments, and I'll show you how to fix the situation. Then we're looking at the opportunity for SS 300 and 400. Yeah, you heard me right. An additional $300 a month on top of your existing benefits. Boy, we got a big second half of this video with the latest on Ukraine and Russia, my commentary on that. But first, I need your help. I need you to go in this video and subscribe. You're watching the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, LALATE. Hit that subscribe button right now and like the video. We're heading to number 2 among broadcast, cable, and internet, but I need you along with the ride for me. It's free to subscribe. Also, sign up for those LALATE alerts. The link is under the video's description, also free, so you get an alert when a new video goes live across the board. And with that, let's go over where we are tonight with CR for Stimulus 1, 2, and 3.0, and also 4.0. We're going to start with the original CR. The original CR, the continuing resolution, has an inherent deadline now of early March. But the great news is the money and the deal of the negotiations so far. $1.5 trillion of discretionary funds have now been included in the continuing resolution with that early March deadline. This is huge, folks. It's $1.5 trillion, and it's done by bipartisan support of both Republican and Democrat House and Senate negotiators. This is huge because $1.5 trillion is a lot of money. It's more than enough for a stimulus check. We're not sitting around looking at, $300 billion, saying, oh, there's not enough for a stimulus check in there. There's a lot of money. It's $1.5 trillion. It's part of the whole CR. It's not the whole CR. Next, it has the discretion of cabinet members on how to spend the money. And those cabinet members, of course, include her, Janet Yellen, Treasury Secretary, oversees IRS, Treasury. So there you go. It's getting very exciting. So what you need to do is you need to advocate back to those same senators we talk about so much on this channel. And I saw some people on Twitter doing a great job overnight. They have beautiful emojis. One person named Princess, I think, is doing a beautiful job. But also pick up the phone. You're just all doing a great job. You want to advocate to them. And what do you want to say? Let's go over the details of this tonight. I have to be careful of my words because I can come a little bit harsh on these. But let me just basically say what you should be saying. We need the money. We were promised we were going to get MSCs in the Build Back Better Act. We support the Build Back Better Act. It will get done. But it's been 11 months, and we need a check now. Inflation's out of control, and you have now the funds dedicated in the CR. $1.5 trillion with your discretion to spend it on us. Why would you not do it? Now, this is where you have to sort of be careful with your words. You want to sound professional, but you also you do not want to sound disrespectful. There is a midterm election just a few weeks away, and Republicans and Democrats both want to spend money on Americans. And this is just like CR for Stimulus 2020, where 2 Senate Georgia seats were up for grabs. You want to retain your Senate seats. You want to pick up new Senate seats, spend money on us. All right, let's go to CR for Stimulus 2 and 3.0. This is the incredible, great news about that as well. Passed in the House, led by Representative Pete Aguilar here in California, was the first of many pieces of that legislation. Economic legislation that has now been sent to the Senate, and the Senate Republicans, yeah, you're hearing me right, say, good, we're happy for this, we want to merge it with ours. What's going on here, folks? When did Republicans and Democrats work hand in hand? It's because the times have changed. In 2020, when we were doing second stimulus on the channel, we had Republicans led by Mitch saying, the economy's good. I don't think that you maybe need anything. And why should we give you anything? Democrats saying it's bad, we need to get you stuff. Now, both parties saying the economy's bad. Both parties saying we need to get you stuff. And tonight, we're going to see in the breaking news is that the comments are starting to sort of merge together. Cut taxes, raise taxes, raise taxes. It's starting to merge. A new 11-point plan, or whatever it's called, I love these names, was unveiled in the last couple hours from former Missourian Senator Rick Scott in a plan to take back the Senate. Well, the plan by the Republican group, and this is not all Republicans, just some Republicans, is to do the following. And I'm saying this with a straight face, so look at me right in the eye. Raise taxes on low-income people. Excuse me? You want to win seats by taxing low-income people more money than they're being taxed right now. That makes no sense. So, needless to say, other Republicans thought this is crazy. And Billy Long, a Missouri Republican seeking to replace Roy who's on the way out. I've featured him a lot on this channel, and also Missouri, said, it's crazy. my fellow Republican, you're crazy. He says every time I see folks purchasing anything for sales tax, the sales tax meter is spinning. I vote no on any tax increase. 3 other Republican Senate campaigns for Representative Mo Brooks in Alabama, Chuck Morris in New Hampshire, and Adam Lacoux in Nevada all said this is crazy. A Republican said that? His entire career, Mo Brooks has fought for tax increases, believes money belongs in the hands of people who earn it, not the government. So Long's comments where he said that his fellow Republican 11-point plan to fix this economy by taxing poor people, he said that's crazy. And he said that every time he walks into, and he said this comment to press, every time he walks into Dick's Sporting Goods to buy things for like duck hunting. I can't say the item because, obviously I can't say that word, but it's the thing you put in that, gets you the duck. And he says every time he walks out empty-handed. So he's going to Dick's to get some ducks, and he leaves duckless because of Scott's 11 left point. This is like crazy, folks. Now, over here on the Democrat side, it's even more crazy. We have Democrats talking about cutting taxes. And I think every time they say it, another Democrat says, you're a Democrat, you don't cut taxes. Didn't you not get the memo? So we have some Democrats saying they want to cut taxes in the midterm elections to win your vote. Very interesting. So when we're looking at CR for Stimulus 2 and 3 merging in the House, it's good. Now, when we look at CR for Stimulus 4.0, this is where we're looking a little bit crazy as well. This don't make sense. CR for Stimulus 4.0, this is the Russian sanction bill to sanction Vladimir Putin before he invades Ukraine. Yeah, just a little bit late now. Just a little bit late. He's already in Ukraine. And, are we going to sanction Vladimir Putin before he invades, Cape Cod? I mean, when are we going to sanction it? This should have been done weeks ago. And we have Republicans led by Lindsey Graham and Marco Rubio, and Democrats led by Bob Menendez, equally saying what's going on. Now, let me explain to you, because I think this needs to be explained. The Senate sanctions bill is separate from the U.S. sanctions that Joe Biden announced, the U.K. sanctions, the EU sanctions. Everyone's sanctioning Vladimir today. But that's different than that. Now, you would think that everyone agreed to sanction Vladimir Putin for trying to take a country that doesn't belong to him. No, Josh Hawley has an idea. It's just like, Josh Hawley. Yeah, bless his soul. Josh Hawley says we shouldn't be focusing on Russia. We should be focusing on China. Excuse me. I don't see China taking a country this week. I don't see China. Did China do something? Was China not on the list? I did not see China taking a country this week. So Josh, can you just zip it? Can you just zip it and listen to Lindsey Graham, the voice of reason today, and just sign on for that for Stimulus 4.0? All right, now that is your C1, 2, and 3, and 4.0. I'm going to be coming back to the Build Back Better Act, which will get passed, in addition to this, and also the big money you can get, tens of thousands of dollars this week, because you need money. You absolutely need money. It's third stimulus coming up in a second. But now let's turn to SS200, SS300, and SS400. The kid in LA, normally in the purple shirt, tonight in the pink shirt, is going to show you how this guy, Joe Biden, needs to go to the local Rouse or, Bristol Farms or whatever they have it, Squiggly Piggly, and buy one of those prepaid cell phones just for $60. Pick up the phone and call the Social Security Administrator, say replace the COLA with inflation, and then millions of Americans get $200 a month. I mean, how simple is this, folks? I just don't get it. This is about as simple as pie. And I have breaking news about the inflation number tonight. It's getting scary. Okay, what's going on? Joe Biden watched Liz Warren compete against him for presidential campaign, Democratic caucus nominee in 2020. Liz said she was going to raise her benefits up $200 a month for 6 to 12 months. She then pulled out for her run for president. Joe Biden says, I like it. I'm going to adopt it as part of my campaign promises. He not only adopted it as part of the campaign promise, he posted at joebiden.com. You can still read it there. $200 additional on top of your existing benefits because you're in need of it urgently. Who? You. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, and more. 6 to 12 months. Well, I'm going to show you right now what's going on. I showed you 2 weeks ago how you can do SS 200 right today, 30 days out. Then about 2 days ago, I showed you how you can do SS 300 by December and SS 400 a year later. Let's go over the situation of the numbers. Then we're going to go over the breaking financial news that came in just a few minutes ago, folks. It's huge. It is really huge. And then we're going to go over what Joe Biden has to do besides just buy the prepaid cell phone for $40 and call Social Security Administrator and say, "Hey, change COLA to inflation." Done. See you next year. Let's go over the details of this. Replacing COLA with inflation gives you a lot more money. COLA is currently at 5.9%. Inflation is at 7.5% based upon December 2021 numbers. You replace it right today, you get an additional $200 a month. Done. Lifetime. Not temporary. Then, where inflation is expected to be by December will be about 4%. That'll be another $100. That'll bring you to SS 300. And inflation is expected to grow up a lot, 2% somewhere thereafter, the year after that. So that's an additional $80. SS 200 now, then SS 300. By January of next year, they apply the benchmark in December of this year. And then the year after that, another $60, $80. SS 400. Here's the breaking news of where we are right tonight. It's brand new. Well, I've been featuring inflation when talking about people on benefits since spring of last year because it's all about inflation. Your benefits have to be tied to inflation. It's the only benchmark of work. COLA doesn't work. And last year, I said that the inflation rate would be 8% in December 2021 and not be temporary. Wall Street saw otherwise. Federal Reserve, Jay Powell, you're watching him here. I like him. He said that inflation was going to be 2%, 1 to 2% in December 2021 and temporary, transitory. I said, no, it's not. You're wrong, Jay. Wall Street said it's going to be 2 to 3%, a little bit higher, and they said it's going to be temporary. I said, no, you're wrong. It's not. So what happened? Department of Labor released the inflation number. It's always a month later, by the way, in January for December. It came at 7.5%, right on the money, right what I said, 8%. Then at the time I said, it's not temporary. What happened in the last 2 weeks? The producer price index number came in 11%. Oh, it's out of control. We now have inflation numbers coming out of certain states like Texas and California and Florida, especially 12% in Florida. You can see the price of gasoline at the pumps, $5 a gallon, $4 a gallon. I mean, I'm not telling you something you don't see. We had Home Depot report corporate earnings yesterday, folks, and the numbers were astronomically great, but the stock went down 30%, the worst fall in almost a decade. Why? Because they think that the situation is getting out of control. The conference call, the CEO said, you got to frame a house? It's gone from $700 to $2,000 in just a few weeks. Inflation is out of control, folks. And here is where it's getting potentially worse. There's a series of new comments coming out today that signals what I am worried for you when we're talking about inflation. And they're exactly what I talked about last year. I said last year I'm worried about two parts for inflation in 2022. One, Vladimir Putin and Russia. I'm going to get to him later. And then the Federal Reserve and their interest rate spikes. At the time I said, maybe we'll see one interest rate spike, maybe two interest rate spikes, maybe three this year. A month ago, I said, okay, now it's looking like 5%, 5 interest rate spikes, an interest rate spike every meeting starting the month of March 2022, next month, of about 25 basis points. Since that recording about a month ago, now we're getting some fringe suggestions that maybe we'll see 7 interest rate spikes this year. And now tonight, Fed Governor Michelle Bowman is now hinting that maybe March will be a doozy, will be an astronomically big spike of 50 basis points. Bowman says, I'll be watching the data closely to judge the appropriate size of an increase at the March meeting. What data is she watching? Folks, you got to watch this channel on Friday. Because on Friday, one big data point comes in, and this is the one the Federal Reserve is going to rely upon for the March inflation number, for the March interest rate spike number. It is the Fed's preferred inflation gauge, and it's called Personal Income Consumption Expenditure Price Index, like the PPI. It's expected to come in 5.1%, which would be the highest acceleration since the 1980s. So if the number is high on this Friday, Bowman, who's a Fed governor, And analysts believe the Fed will not come in with just 5 or 7 interest rate spikes this year of 25 basis points, but smack you with a basis point raise in March. Yeah, it's getting that extenuated. And that is where we are when we're looking at that. So that's why the President of the United States needs to do this SS200. What does he do? He just picks up the phone and contacts the Social Security Administrator. Say, hey, it's Joe. Inflation's out of control. All you have to do is replace a COLA. Use inflation. 30 days out. Millions of Americans will see $200, $300 more per month in their wallet. And that's what they need. He called it, and I've not made this point clear before, so I apologize. I'll make it clear tonight. He said in his transition papers of December 2020, when the inflation was flat, folks, I mean, it was 3 or 4%, that it was an urgent situation for people on benefits to get an extra $200 a month. Now, people who are not on benefits, people just living anywhere across the country, are seeing their cost of goods going up $400 more per month in basic necessity items. And that's before you get to gasoline. How much are you paying for gasoline? Jump in the live chat and tell me how you're paying for a basic unleaded, no frills at your local area. I mean, California, LA has always been high. We've always been high, but we're heading to $6 a gallon. Areas that are 1 and 2 are now heading to like 3 and 4. People can't sustain this. Something has to be done. And that's why seats for stimulus is heating up, because Republicans and Democrats understand that inflation is out of control. And that comment by Long, walking out of Dick's Sporting Goods, says that Scott wants to get to you by raising your taxes, but Joe Biden already hurt you with inflation. They gotta get something in your hand. Who knew that in 2020, the recordings of this channel would be about when in the middle of the pandemic, you have lockdowns, you lost your business, you're unemployed, you've been laid off, you can't show up to work, whatever it is, you need assistance, economic assistance. Who knew that 2 years later, I'd be making a recording about virtually the same situation, but another cause of why you're having a problem. You don't have enough money to survive. Your price of goods have gone up. You don't have enough money for gas. Your rent has gone up 400% in 1 year. You need more economic relief. Why? Inflation. It's no longer COVID or lockdowns. Now it's inflation. Same subject, different year, same need. And that is why it's important. Now let's go into some of those provisions of the Build Back Better Act, because these are great, folks. These are all great. And you know what we do on this channel? We cash checks. And so it's important for you to know every check that's available for you. And in a second, we're going to go to third stimulus. Get your pen and paper ready, because I want you to get that big sums of money. And I have a tough love moment in tonight's third stimulus part as well. What got into those checks of Build Back Better? Well, lots of them. They got in there $72,500 of what you can deduct and see in local taxes, raising from $10,000. They got in there cheaper prescription medication, growing it from 20 to 30 medications by the year 2028. They got $40 billion of free job training in there as well, so you get a higher paying job. The Medicaid got fixed, very important. They'll provide a workaround plan to people for subsidized private insurance in low-income uninsured people in 12 Republican holdout states. They got the housing assistance, which I'll go to in a second, and then they got in there the hazard pay. 1 more year of the earned income tax credit. Learn about it at irs.gov for my essential workers. 1 more year of the $3,600 for the children's checks, CTC. Remember, the children get their checks up to age 17. Over age 17, then you get the adults checks, the automatic checks of the Build Back. Household tax credit they got in there as well, which brings us then to the rent. And the rent is where we rock and roll. Third stimulus is where I want you to get that money. Do you want tens of thousands of dollars this weekend? You do. So get that pen and paper out. If you're a member of this channel, pull out the newsletter. If you're not, become a member to this channel right now. This is big sums of money. This is third stimulus. And who cares what it's called, so long as it pays you. There's third stimulus everywhere. Every city, every state, every county, you can get it. And I have some tough love coming up on this in just a second. Let's go over where you get the money from. And here was the graphic back in October. Now it's upwards of 40,000. You see Nisi's name? Maybe you don't. It's under the overlay graphic of evenings under the name Richard. But I can come back to Nisi in just a second. What I want you to know is that the rent is available. 6 places to reach out to: City Hall, City House Authority; County Hall, County House Authority; State Hall, and State House Authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. You must reach out to all 6 places. You must get multiple applications on file, and you must do multiple rounds. I'll go over what those multiple rounds in a second are, but what's important to understand is that you need to do as I say in the video. There's one long-standing viewer who I adore greatly, and he was in the live chat of the show last night and said, there's no money where I am. I said, how many of the 6 places did you reach out to? I see you in every video every night. How many of the 6 places did you reach out to? He said 1. I said 1? How many times have I said reach out to 6 to start? Then we got the nonprofits, 5, and you're a member. Reach out to the 5 nonprofits. Or maybe it wasn't a member. I can't remember. Reach out to the nonprofits. That's 5 more. 11 places to reach out to. You reach out to 1. They said no. You stopped. Here's a tough love moment. I'm going to say it as nicely as I can. You're playing games with yourself. You're playing games with yourself. You reached out to 1. They said no. You didn't put an effort in. You got an F for effort. You basically didn't do much more than look for a check in the mailbox. You did not put an effort in. You have to put an effort in. Now, here I'm going to address other viewers in the live chat in sort of a different tangential way. I know viewers who got rounds of rent in the spring and then the winter. Now, I understand a lot of people got rent in December for, let's say, December, January, February, or maybe they got November to March. But you don't have to worry about the rent overlapping with the utilities. You should be getting another round. So I see people in the live chat who I know got a round in December. We called it Christmas stimulus. And I haven't seen them post anything. I got another thing of money. Worries me because I think to myself, you're not making the effort either. And you had to do this. You've done 2 rounds. Where is your latest round? Let's go back into these incredible sums of money. And we're going to look at those right now. When we talk about the utility assistance, it's important to understand that this is very simple. And you always have utility bills. So why would you not get more utility assistance because of COVID? Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000 a year because of this channel. You need to reach out and get those big sums of money. Then you want to get SNAP. SNAP is a lot of money. It brings you in a ton. And that money for SNAP, oh boy. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $25,000 a year over 10 years. It's $250,000. Then Nisi, here she is. Remember her? She got 3 items at the time. Inspired countless viewers like Art Sullivan and Mark to get 3 items. Here's Mark at 2 at 32. I said, where Mark was your third? He got his third, 50,000. Then he went to 100,000. Lorraine, she was at 105 now. She went to 120. Do you see what Mark did? He heard me. I addressed him on camera directly. I said, Mark, go get your third. He didn't sit around with just the happiness of 32,000. He went and grew it to 100,000. Nisi, remember her? Guess what? She listened. She always listens. This is her latest message tonight. I got another $7,000 for rent and another $3,000 for utility. I told you I'd get more. Here's Karen Joseph. She got this week $22,500 more for rent, additional $12,500 for SNAP, and $3,000 for more utilities. That's about $40,000 across the land. What's important for you to know is that this is money that's there for you folks. And so why would you not get it? I have viewers who've gotten it before. And I'm saying, I see you in the live chat, and you haven't said you got another round lately. So get another round. Also, let's turn to Johnny. I haven't featured Johnny on this channel for a week, but I think it deserves, maybe it's 2 weeks. I think it's time to bring Johnny back in the mix. Johnny's a 3-part story, but the first part of the Johnny story is the one that I want most people to listen to, which is, or the most important one in the context of what's going on tonight. Johnny got $80,000 from 7 programs in 7 days from watching this channel. Now, I'm not focusing on the 80,000. I'm focusing on the 7 programs. To get 7 programs approved, how many phone calls do you think Johnny made? 15 at least. You can have a 50% rejection rate. So with a 50% rejection rate, you have to make the phone calls. You have to make the phone calls. That one viewer said he made 1 phone call to a city. They said they had no money. Did you make 15 phone calls? No, you made 1 and called it a day. Let's say you made 2 phone calls. 1 yes, 1 no. Do you call it a day? No. You gotta make the effort. Effort is what gets you the money. The money is available in every city. It's available in every county. It's available in every state. It's available from the nonprofits. People who have been in sort of the clusters, the fringes of this channel since 2020, saying there's nothing here. I've disproved them every single time wrong. Other viewers have proved them wrong. They just like to say there's nothing, there's nothing. There is. Go get that money. It's available. If you need assistance, you need help finding it, send me a message, send the volunteers messages. We're here to help. If you put in the effort, you can get it. This is Third Stimulus. Finally, my commentary tonight, and boy, do I have a lot to say if I haven't said it already. Vladimir and Joe. Well, Vladimir and Joe is a big impact on your wallet. Why? It was October of last year where I said 2022, folks, is all going to be about Vladimir and inflation. Because if Vladimir goes anywhere near Ukraine, it's going to be hurting your wallet. And if we see inflation anywhere near where I'm predicting at 8% in December 2021 and not being temporary, it's going to hurt your wallet. Both of my predictions are now true. Here's what's at issue. Vladimir Putin, when I talked about him in October, I said the rumor of him invading may be more difficult than the news of him invading, because the rumor may impact your wallet faster. Well, the situation right now is that he has, done what he wants to do with those two separatist, standalone eastern sections of Ukraine, but there's far more of that country that is still in rumor mode. We don't know the rumor situation of the rest of the state of Ukraine, which impacts your wallet, which impacts gasoline, which impacts economic uncertainty, which impacts Wall Street, stocks, bonds, crypto, all going down dramatically. Then we have the inflationary issue. And we have Republicans and Democrats not agreeing upon how to do inflation. We have the Federal Reserve at issue among even itself how to deal with inflation. And we have uncertainty even tonight. As I'm making this recording, I say to you, I don't even know how bad that Friday number is going to be from the Department of Labor. I believe it's publishing it this coming Friday, because that number tees up that first interest rate spike from the Federal Reserve in early March. 25 basis points is where we're predicting it at. If it comes at 50 basis points, get ready to get smacked in the face, because that's something we have not anticipated. And guess what? We still do not know if it's 5 or 7 interest rate spikes across the board. Situation is very fluid. And that's why I want you to get all these incredible sums of money from Third Stimulus. A lot of breaking news tonight, a lot of financial news tonight, and the week is going to end with a tsunami of economic financial news as we still see the situation in Ukraine and Russia impacting your wallet, everything from gasoline to your pocketbook. But my messaging is very simple. Joe Biden says that battling the Russia-Ukraine situation on the ground is not his priority. He will not be doing that. Well, he needs to get on the ground and battle inflation. He needs to battle inflation, because building bridges and fixing bridges ain't fixing inflation. He needs to get people's benefits up, $200, $300 a month. Millions of Americans on benefits were struggling in 2020 when he said they were struggling. And the person sitting next to him promised Americans $200 a month for 12 months as a presidential campaign. She has not delivered as well. They need to start delivering on fixing inflation. If you don't want to deal with Ukraine and Russia on the ground, well, you better deal with inflation very quickly, because he's the guy in office right now and the inflation's hitting. Republican solutions for inflation may not be correct, and they can't even agree upon their solutions. And the Democrats even admit that pieces of legislation need to be passed before Build Back Better. Because remember, Build Back Better talks about dental, vision, and hearing, which is social reform, Bernie-type issues, not necessarily all economic reform. We need a lot of things to be fixed, and the fixing needs to start right now. CR for Stimulus 1, 2, and 3, and 4.0. Advocate with 1 and continue to push across the land. Please get that big money for Third Stimulus, but join me throughout the night, because coming up tonight, we have Evenings LA at 5 o'clock. We have Evenings Countdown at 6 o'clock. Home Street Stimulus at 7 o'clock, and Evenings Action at 8 o'clock. Stay informed, stay focused. Hit that subscribe button. Join me tonight. The shows continue throughout the night and tomorrow morning. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.